a desperate move from the prince. It's being reported that Harry is now literally begging his father, King Charles.
Prince Harry has once again found himself at the center of royal controversy after a shocking digital move that left millions stunned. This time, reports suggest he has been quietly removed from parts of the official royal website, sparking outrage, confusion, and a storm of unanswered questions across the world. But what could have triggered such a dramatic digital erasure? And why is Prince Harry reportedly furious behind the scenes? Something deeper may be unfolding within the monarchy than the public has been told now. And do you think Harry's photograph has any meaning to the royal family? Why would they take it down? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. To help us create more videos and uncover the latest royal drama, please subscribe. Harry's uncertain future. This week has been described by many royal watchers as one of the toughest and most emotionally loaded periods Prince Harry has faced in a long time. Across television programs, newspaper columns, YouTube discussions, and social media debates, the same questions keep appearing again and again. Where does Harry truly belong now? Has the life he chose outside the royal family brought him peace, or has it pulled him into a different kind of pressure? The spotlight surrounding him has become impossible to ignore. Every move, every public appearance, and even every silence seems to attract fresh speculation. Commentators have spent days analyzing not only his relationship with the royal family, but also the future of the career he built after stepping away from royal duties with Meghan Markle. When Harry and Meghan first left royal life, many people believed they were beginning a powerful new chapter. Huge media deals, streaming partnerships, interviews, documentaries, and international speaking appearances created the image of a couple ready to reshape celebrity influence on a global scale. At the time, there was endless talk about enormous opportunities and massive earning potential. They appeared unstoppable. But now the tone of public discussion feels very different. Reports and online commentary increasingly describe some of those once celebrated ventures as uncertain or fading in momentum. Projects that once generated worldwide excitement are now discussed with more caution. Public appearances reportedly attract smaller crowds than people once imagined during the height of the couple's media attention. Whether these reports are completely accurate or not, they have helped fuel a growing narrative that the excitement surrounding Harry's post-royal future may no longer be as strong as it once was. At the same time, events within the royal family continue to stir emotions and comparisons. Carefully released royal photographs, family celebrations, and public appearances instantly dominate headlines. Simple images that might once have passed quietly now become deeply symbolic in the eyes of the public. Every smile, every family portrait, and every appearance by senior royals is examined for hidden meaning. And in the middle of it all stands Harry, a man many now see as caught between two very different worlds. On one side is the centuries-old royal institution he walked away from. On the other is the independent life he created in California with Meghan and their children. Supporters believe he chose freedom, emotional healing, and protection for his family. Critics argue that despite leaving royal duties behind, he still remains emotionally connected to the very system he criticized. What makes this moment feel especially dramatic is the way so many storylines have collided at once. Questions about money, influence, family relationships, public image, and personal identity are all being discussed together. As a result, even ordinary royal updates suddenly feel bigger than they really are. A single photograph or routine announcement quickly transforms into a worldwide debate about loyalty, regret, belonging, and the personal cost of walking away from royal life. Why was Harry's picture taken away? How did it happen? Let's delve into the details of the disappearance of Harry and Meghan's wedding photo that sparked royal speculation and drama. The missing portrait. A quiet change inside the private home of King Charles III has suddenly sparked a fresh wave of royal speculation. What seemed like a small detail at first has now become the center of intense public attention, with many wondering what it could reveal about the strained relationship between the King and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The discussion began after royal photographer Chris Jackson shared photographs taken during an event at Highgrove, the countryside residence closely connected to the king. While the event itself appeared warm and elegant, sharp-eyed royal followers quickly noticed something unusual in the background. A framed photograph from Harry and Meghan's 2018 royal wedding, once displayed proudly among other family pictures, was no longer there. For years, that wedding portrait had quietly occupied a place on a wooden table inside the home, surrounded by images of other royal family members. Its absence immediately caught attention online. In the updated arrangement, the wedding photo appears to have been replaced with more recent and personal family images. Among them are pictures showing King Charles alongside both of his sons, Harry and Prince William, as well as a touching photograph of the monarch holding young Prince Louis. To many royal watchers, the change felt far from accidental. In royal circles, even the smallest adjustments are often examined closely for hidden meaning. A moved photograph, a missing portrait, or a new family display can easily become a silent message that fuels endless public debate. Because of the already fragile relationship between Harry and the royal household, the disappearance of the wedding picture has once again raised questions about whether the family divide is still as deep as ever. The tension between the Sussexes and the monarchy has remained one of the most talked about royal stories in recent years. Ever since Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal duties in 2020 and began a new life in the United States, reports of disagreements, emotional distance, and broken trust have continued to dominate headlines. Interviews, documentaries, and Harry's memoir only added more layers to the already complicated situation. Despite occasional reports suggesting attempts at peace and reconciliation, insiders often claim communication between Harry and his father remains limited. That is why this small detail inside Highgrove has attracted so much interest. To some people, the missing photograph feels symbolic, almost like another sign of a family bond that has never fully healed. Still, others believe the public may be reading too deeply into the situation. Royal homes regularly undergo redesigns, and family photographs are often moved, updated, or replaced. Some reports even suggest the wedding portrait may simply have been relocated to another room rather than removed completely. Even so, the fascination continues. In the royal world, symbolism matters enormously, and sometimes a single missing photograph can speak louder than an official statement. Why is the photograph issue being taken so seriously? Could there be more to it? Let's dive into the details of Charlotte's birthday photo and the power of public imagery. More than just a portrait. One of the biggest topics people have been discussing lately is the birthday photo released for Princess Charlotte, the daughter of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. As has become a familiar royal tradition, a new official picture was shared with the public to celebrate her birthday. The image quickly spread across newspapers, television programs, and social media platforms, drawing attention from royal watchers around the world. In the photograph, Charlotte appears relaxed, cheerful, and confident. She smiles naturally at the camera, giving the impression of a young girl who is comfortable in her environment and happy in the moment. The photo itself is simple, but that simplicity is exactly what made it so powerful. There were no dramatic settings, no complicated message, and no grand royal display. Instead, it presented a calm and peaceful family image that many people saw as reassuring and stable. Online discussions soon turned the photograph into something much larger than a birthday portrait. To many viewers, the image seemed to symbolize continuity within the royal family, a picture of tradition carrying on through the next generation. Supporters described it as warm, genuine, and carefully presented in a way that reflected unity within the household of William and Catherine. At the same time, the picture also sparked conversations about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and their place within the wider royal story. Some commentators argued that the image unintentionally reminded the public of the growing distance between Harry's family in the United States and their royal relatives in Britain. According to this view, the contrast between Charlotte's highly visible public image and the more private lives of Harry and Meghan's children created a feeling of emotional and geographical separation. Others strongly disagreed with that interpretation. They argued that people were reading far too much into an innocent family photograph. To them, Charlotte's birthday picture was simply what it appeared to be: a proud family sharing a joyful moment with the public. They believed it was unfair to turn a child's portrait into a symbol of royal tension or division. Even so, the debate highlights how powerful photographs have become in today's media-driven world. Modern audiences rarely see public images as completely neutral anymore. Every smile, pose, and family picture is carefully examined for hidden meaning. People often interpret photographs as quiet statements about relationships, status, closeness, or even conflict, whether those messages were intended or not. This is why Charlotte's portrait gained such symbolic importance. On one side, it represented openness, visibility, and continuity within one branch of the royal family. On the other, it reminded some people of the privacy surrounding Harry and Meghan's children, who are rarely seen publicly and are often only partially shown in photographs shared online. In the end, the true impact of the image comes less from the photograph itself and more from what people choose to see in it. For many, it became a symbol of stability and royal tradition. For others, it quietly reflected the growing distance between two different branches of the same famous family. What happened with Archie's birthday celebration online? What reaction followed? Let's dig further into the details of the social media contrast between Archie's birthday posts and online interpretation. Behind royal images. This week, a surprising amount of online attention has centered on birthday posts connected to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's son, Prince Archie. What seemed at first like a simple family celebration quickly turned into one of the internet's biggest talking points, proving once again that every move connected to the royal family is carefully watched and endlessly discussed. Two different photographs were shared online to mark the occasion. The first was a warm and emotional family picture from Archie's younger years. It captured a soft, loving moment between father and son, giving followers a rare glimpse into the family's private world. Many people described the image as sweet, personal, and deeply touching because it reflected a quieter side of royal life that is not often seen in public. But it was the second image that truly captured public attention and sparked widespread debate across social media platforms. Unlike the first photograph, this one carried a more artistic and mysterious feel. It showed two children walking away from the camera through a peaceful natural setting. Their faces could not be seen, and the image focused more on the scenery, movement, and atmosphere than on identity or expression. That single creative choice immediately triggered countless interpretations online. Some people believed the hidden faces reflected a strong desire for privacy. In today's world, where celebrity children are constantly photographed and discussed, many argued that shielding the children's identities was a thoughtful and protective decision. Supporters praised the approach, saying it allowed the children to enjoy a more normal upbringing away from intense public pressure. Others, however, viewed the image very differently. Some online commentators began attaching symbolic meaning to the direction the children were walking. Because the figures were moving away from the camera, a number of people interpreted the photo as representing distance from royal traditions, public expectations, or even from life inside the monarchy itself. For these observers, the image felt less like a casual family picture and more like a quiet statement. Of course, these theories remain entirely speculative. The photograph itself offered no direct message or explanation, yet that has done little to stop the flood of opinions, reactions, and debates spreading across the internet. In the modern social media age, even the simplest image can quickly become loaded with meaning, especially when it involves famous public figures. Many commentators also compared Archie's photograph to recent public images of Princess Charlotte. One child faces the camera openly, while the other is turned away. That visual contrast has fueled even deeper discussions online about privacy, identity, tradition, and independence within different branches of the royal family. Whether any of these interpretations were intentional or simply created by public imagination is impossible to know. What is certain, however, is that royal children now exist in a world where even an ordinary family photograph can become an international conversation overnight. Can things return to normal for the royal family? Since when has Harry been facing royal family-related challenges? Let's talk about the weight of the past, from royal exit to public confrontations. Royal life aftermath. Ever since Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped away from official royal duties, the story surrounding their lives has continued to spark endless debate around the world. What first appeared to be a bold and deeply personal decision soon became one of the most talked-about moments in modern royal history. Their departure from senior royal life was presented as a search for freedom from intense public pressure, freedom to protect their mental well-being, and freedom to build a more private and financially independent future for themselves and their children. But leaving the royal system did not lead to a quiet life away from attention. In many ways, it placed them at the very center of global media conversation. Over the years, the couple took part in major interviews, high-profile documentaries, podcasts, public appearances, and the release of Harry's memoir, which opened the door to deeply personal stories about life inside the royal family. To many supporters, these projects were brave acts of honesty. They believed Harry and Meghan were finally speaking their truth after years of silence and pressure. Critics, however, saw things very differently. Some argued that private family matters should never have been discussed so publicly. Others believed the couple wanted the benefits and status connected to royal life, while also criticizing the institution itself. This divide in public opinion only made the discussion surrounding them even more intense. Recently, one particular theme has started to dominate conversations: contradiction. Commentators often compare earlier statements made by the couple about their unhappiness within royal life with later comments that appear more emotional, reflective, or nostalgic about family ties, royal traditions, and past experiences. For critics, this creates confusion and raises questions about consistency. They wonder whether the couple truly wanted complete separation, or whether part of them still feels emotionally connected to the world they left behind. Yet human emotions are rarely simple. People change, feelings change. Decisions that once felt completely right can become more complicated over time. Distance, maturity, family struggles, and changing circumstances can reshape how people view their past. In highly emotional public debates, this complexity is often ignored because audiences tend to choose sides rather than explore nuance. Financially and professionally, life after the monarchy has also appeared less predictable than many initially expected. At first, there were reports of huge opportunities and major entertainment deals that seemed to promise long-term success. Some projects gained worldwide attention, while others reportedly faced setbacks, criticism, or uncertain results. Because many reports rely on estimates, rumors, and unnamed sources, the full picture remains difficult to confirm. Even so, the larger public narrative remains powerful and dramatic, a comparison between two very different worlds: the carefully controlled structure of royal duty and the uncertain, highly exposed reality of independent celebrity life. So, is the public life of a royal any different from that of a celebrity? What suggests the celebrity life they're living? Let's find out. Hollywood attention shift. Another important theme in public discussions is the Sussexes' connection with Hollywood and the wider world of global celebrity culture. In the first years after Prince Harry and Meghan Markle moved to California, they were often seen in the company of well-known people in entertainment, media, sports, and philanthropy. They appeared at major award shows, attended high-profile events, and were linked with influential figures across different industries. During this period, there was a strong sense in public conversations that they were quickly becoming part of an elite circle in Hollywood, where fame, influence, and access often overlap. However, as time has passed, some commentators have suggested that this level of constant visibility has become less steady. The conversations around them in celebrity spaces do not appear as frequent or as loud as before. Different explanations have been offered for this change. One view is that media attention always moves in cycles. In today's fast-moving world, public interest shifts quickly from one story to another, often depending on what is new, surprising, or controversial at the moment. From this angle, the change is not unusual but expected. Another interpretation is that the early excitement that often follows a high-profile move into Hollywood life may have cooled down. In the beginning, there is curiosity and strong attention when famous individuals enter a new environment. Over time, however, that curiosity can settle as the story becomes more familiar and less novel to audiences and industry insiders. In online discussions, people sometimes point to the presence or absence of certain famous names, such as actors, television hosts, musicians, or athletes, as signs of how close someone is to the center of influence. These comparisons are often used to suggest whether someone is gaining or losing access to powerful social networks. However, it is important to understand that most of these claims are based on public observation, rumors, or interpretation, rather than confirmed statements from the individuals involved. A key idea in understanding all of this is what some call the celebrity attention economy. In this system, attention works like a form of currency. Being talked about, photographed, or included in major conversations helps maintain relevance. But this attention is not permanent. It constantly shifts depending on new trends, emerging personalities, major events, and changing public interests. Even the most famous people in the world experience rises and falls in how much attention they receive over time. Within this framework, the Sussex public image is sometimes described as having moved from being new and highly discussed to being more familiar and routine in the public eye. This does not automatically mean rejection or failure. Instead, it reflects how public attention naturally adjusts when something is no longer new. Still, online conversations often present these changes in more dramatic ways, framing them as stories of rise and decline. In reality, they may simply be part of the normal and ongoing rhythm of global celebrity culture, where attention is always moving, never fixed, and constantly reshaped by the world's changing interests. What is so special about photographs with the royal family? Does it represent anything significant? Let's delve into the details of the Highgrove and the language of royal symbols. Photographs, symbolism, and interpretation. A quiet but highly symbolic discussion has recently focused on Highgrove, the private countryside home of King Charles III, located in Gloucestershire, England. Highgrove House and Gardens is widely known not only as a royal residence, but also as a deeply personal space that reflects the king's long-standing interests in nature, environmental care, and thoughtful design. Unlike formal palaces that project state power, Highgrove is often described as more intimate, almost like a living scrapbook of the king's values, tastes, and memories. The gardens in particular are carefully shaped and maintained, blending structure with natural growth in a way that mirrors King Charles's well-known environmental philosophy. Every pathway, planting choice, and layout is often seen as intentional, making the estate feel less like a static property and more like an evolving expression of personal vision. Recently, attention in online discussions has shifted from the gardens to the inside of the residence, especially to the display of family photographs. Based on interpretations of publicly available images taken by visitors and photographers over time, some observers believe that certain framed pictures within Highgrove may have been rearranged, replaced, or updated. The images under discussion include family portraits spanning different generations of the royal family, ranging from older, historic family moments to more recent photographs featuring grandchildren and younger members. These visual details have led some commentators to propose symbolic readings. In their view, the presence or prominence of newer images may suggest a subtle emphasis on the future of the monarchy, highlighting younger generations who will carry the family legacy forward. At the same time, many more cautious and neutral perspectives remind the public that such interpretations may be overextended. In most households, royal or otherwise, photographs are frequently moved, refreshed, or replaced for simple, everyday reasons. Frames may be updated due to new memories, seasonal decoration changes, renovations, or even personal preference at a given time. In that sense, Highgrove is still a private home, and its interiors naturally evolve just like any lived-in space. Still, royal commentary often places significant weight on symbolism. Because senior members of the royal family rarely make direct public statements about private domestic choices, observers tend to interpret indirect signals, something as simple as a photograph on a mantelpiece, the seating arrangement at an event, or even who appears alongside whom in official images can become a subject of wider discussion. This interpretive culture means that even small, ordinary changes can take on larger meaning in the public imagination. A shifted photograph might be seen as a sign of emotional closeness, distance, renewal, or transition, even when no such intention was ever present. In the end, whether these perceived changes at Highgrove are deliberate or entirely coincidental remains unknown to the public. What is clear, however, is that spaces like Highgrove continue to attract attention not just as homes, but as symbolic landscapes. They become places where private life and public curiosity meet, and where everyday details are often woven into broader stories about continuity, change, and the evolving identity of the monarchy. What does life mean to the Sussexes today? How do they live their average life? Life beyond the royal palace. The final layer of this unfolding story takes us to Montecito, California, where Prince Harry and Meghan Markle now live with their children. Away from the formal world of royal duties, attention has gradually shifted to a quieter but still closely watched question. What does their everyday life look like, and where are they headed next? In media discussions, podcasts, and commentary pieces, different pictures have been painted of their household. Some suggest a natural division of focus, one parent more involved in home life, school runs, and family routines, while the other is often linked to professional projects, media work, and building a personal brand. These ideas are widely shared in public conversation, but it is important to note that they are interpretations rather than confirmed details of their private life. What is clearer and more firmly established is the continued role of the Invictus Games, the international sporting event Prince Harry created for injured and recovering military veterans. The Games are widely praised for their purpose, spirit, and real-world impact on participants. At the same time, like many large global initiatives, they have also had to deal with practical challenges, such as funding, planning demands, and changes in sponsorship support over the years. Discussions in the media about shifting sponsors or evolving financial structures reflect a broader reality. Major charitable and sporting projects often go through seasons of change as corporate backing rises and falls. Even with these challenges, Invictus remains a central part of Harry's identity and his public contribution beyond royal life. Looking ahead, the future remains open and uncertain. Public opinion about Harry continues to move in different directions. Admiration from some, criticism from others, and curiosity from many who sit in between. His journey, once clearly defined by royal tradition and duty, is now shaped by reinvention, a process that is rarely smooth or predictable. What has not changed is the level of public interest. Every interview, appearance, or photograph becomes part of a larger ongoing story that mixes fact, interpretation, and emotion. To some, it is a story of independence. To others, a story of struggle or transition. And as with many public figures living under constant attention, the final chapter of this story is still unwritten, continuing to unfold day by day. So, what do you think about the removal of Harry's photograph? Do you think he deserves such treatment? We'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.